Early May in Moscow, rain and snow one moment, sunshine the next. Across this mega city, preparations are underway for the 80th Victory Day. So, amid shifting geopolitics, what does solemn remembrance say about where we are and where we are headed? I've met 4 friends here in the iconic Red Square.
Oh my God, it's good to see.
At the thought-provoking Victory Museum.
So his name is Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin. He went as a volunteer in the first days of the war.
Outside a renowned school of diplomacy.
It's all about 80th anniversary of the victory, 1945-2025.
And in the most open place of all, a private home filled with warmth.
This is my wife's father, and those are his medals.
I'm here to hear their stories and perspectives, from Moscow to the world.
You know why people stay here? If you stay in the center,
Yes.
You can put your coins, your dream, and it's can happen.
Ah, this is how you make your wish.
Yes.
So normally you stand here.
Yeah, you only you, I can.
Yes. And then through that way. You make a wish.
Yes.
Okay. Your turn. What was the wish that you just made, if I may ask?
It's always the same. I want that all people will be happy.
Your president has invited lots of international leaders to join the celebration. Why do you think it matters?
For us, it's this war is huge and important story because
It's okay.
Because every family lost someone here, and it's part of history in every family.
Hi. So you ready for the museum tour?
Yeah, okay, you're going to give me a tour?
Actually,
That's interesting.
No, me, the other one.
Now we're in Faces of Victory. I can show you the father of our president.
In 1941, he was shot. He lost a lot of blood. He was in the hospital in Leningrad. Every person can come and
Bring their
give
photos
of their family who fought and served in the war.
We have already have over 1 million photos.
This is his great-grandfather.
Yours.
Yeah. So he uploaded the photo, he wrote the text. Every family has somebody who fought. So you can come in and go to the museum and write the text, upload your photograph, and it'll be in the system forever. What you see up there, every part of the chain represents 10 lives. And this is 26 million people who died in World War II. Preserving the history of this war is showing respect for the sacrifices that my ancestors gave in order for me to be sitting here and talking to you. So for Russians, the 9th of May is the most important holiday because if we didn't win this war, there would be no Russia. Chinese are the only other country which can kind of understand that. There's also a war for survival.
We often say it's friendship forged in blood.
Yeah.
We are standing in front of the Brest Fortress gates.
It's the first battle in the Great Patriotic War.
This is the ordinary family's apartment in the Brest Fortress. You can see the guitar, the paintings.
This is a train which was set up with a furnace. So how many people do you think fit in here total?
I would say 20?
No, 60, 70, or even 100 people.
Once the German army was advancing, the Soviet government was evacuating civilians from the area. So, and there's millions of people. They had no idea where they were going. My grandma lived in Uzbekistan for 3 years during the war. She was a 14-year-old girl. Another amazing thing is that it wasn't just people who were evacuated, it's whole factories were evacuated. So this is factories disassembled completely, you know, and put onto a train and moved out. In front of you are pictures of art which was destroyed by the Germans, not by mistake, purposely. So The idea was not just to destroy the people, it was destroy the history of everything which remained. Hitler's idea was that the Russians and other peoples who lived in the Soviet Union didn't have the right to their own culture once they accepted Bolshevism and communism. This is the parliament building in Berlin. This is a real sign. I'm from Moscow. The shortest way back to Moscow is through Berlin. Meaning this person wants to go home, and the only way he'll get home is if we capture Berlin and ends the war. It's 12,000 heroes of the Soviet Union during the war, and each city is the hero city. The cities which suffered the most. When I talk about how every Russian has a family which suffered in World War II, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing which is happening in China. Because the wars were fought on our land, there's no two countries which gave more and lost more in World War II. It's not only soldiers are dying, it's women, it's children, it's old people, it's devastating hunger, these horrible atrocities which both the German and the Japanese army did in China and Russia respectively, Soviet Union. Those Chinese soldiers who fought in the Soviet army and those Soviet soldiers who fought for the Chinese and risking their lives, I don't think there is anything which brings countries closer than that.
What does it mean here?
Праздником Великой Победы, which means that on the occasion of the great victories.
Celebrating the great victory.
Yeah. And the decree on peace is just over there at the edifice. It was one of the first documents which was officially published by the Bolsheviks after the great socialist revolution in 1917. You see, there are a male and a female workers, the representatives of both workers and peasants. During the Soviet times, it was always important to stress this unity. It is not about not coming to Moscow on May 9th to watch the parade at the Red Square. It is not about boasting what kind of army we have or showing our military glory. It is about something that happened 80 years ago will never happen again. It is about preserving our common past for better future of our people. The European Union and US, who are trying to portray it as a Russia-oriented event, they make a horrible mistake, because it isn't about Russia, it is about our common victory. Those leaders coming to Moscow, they did it just because they chose the right side of the history. I believe that all of those countries that will be present at this parade, they share this idea of peace and prosperity. My own mindset and the education that I received in this institution was very Western-oriented. After the speech that was made by Chairman Xi, I studied many books on China, on Eurasia. I really made a U-turn in my perception of the world. There are different national perceptions and visions of the world, of international relations per se. We used to believe in the Western-oriented world. Our country was trying to adapt and fit into different Western-led institutions, and as a result, we were complete losers. With the advent of the Vladimir Putin's era in the early 21st century, Russia learned to become sovereign, to make our own decisions and rely only on ourselves. This Chinese proposal is something that changed the mindset of different national leaders. So I believe that address made by Chairman Xi changed the perception of the world we're living in.
Hi.
So it's snow and...
Ah, the flowers. It's beautiful.
This is Russia. My wife's father, he was a specialist in Persian language, and he was already a professor in 1941 when the war started.
I see.
So professors were exempted from military service, but he volunteered. He was taking part in combat.
President Xi has been invited as a guest of honor for this year's commemorative events on May 9th. What's the message to other nations?
That we have our vision of history, which is based on facts. that we are close with China, that all the efforts of America to disunite us, to make problems between Russia and China are doomed, that we are still lips and teeth, shoulder to shoulder, back to back. Russia and China will be together, not only marching on the square, but also in time of need. Those are books that I published. This is my first book about Xi Jinping and the China Dream. And this is my book about Silk Road. Trump, I believe, is the last head of that previous period of America being the shining castle on the hill. It is great power, but there are other great powers. A new period is now being formed thanks to this new type of relations between Russia and China. We are not military allies, but like in Chinese philosophy, 和而不同. We are close but different.
和而不同. That I've come to realize is probably the best kind of relationship between people and between nations. I've also asked them about their dreams. The small ones like living a little better, and the big ones like living better together.
I want to have my eyes to see better. I want my wife to feel better.
We all wanted to save the peace and come home and see our family, see your friends, have a lot of freedom to travel around and see the world and talk with people from all over the country.
I want my children to live better than I did. I want my grandchildren to live better than my children, and so on. That is the main goal, maybe as any father. What amazed me about when I came to China is that each generation is substantially better off than the previous generation for the last 4 decades. And you can see how that invigorates society, how there is this hope.
When Russia and China work together, it brings an alternative vision to the world that was previously governed by the West. We're not trying to build our strategic partnership against neither Japan, nor US, nor Europe. We would never enter into a multipolar world if it weren't for Russia and China who are working together.
We shouldn't have any war. This is the most important. Economic cooperation. We shouldn't have so many barriers which do not allow poor nations to develop and rich nations to develop faster. And the third is civilization, exchange of cultures. So peace, trade, exchange of civilizations. Those are, I think, the major ideas for the 21st century.